Hi everyone. I hope everyone is having a good day. So today we have connected primarily to discuss about Prisma AI. Um, the in the entire presentation, I would take you through the journey of Prisma AI, what it does, how it has evolved, and how it can be of socio-economic use for us and the country and other places. So, without wasting any further time, let me start with this presentation and brief you a little bit about Prisma AI. So, as the name suggests, you could have easily guessed it that this is an AI company, Prisma AI. So it is a visual AI company. Basically, uh, it's the third largest visual AI company, global leaders in computer vision. And today, it would be safe to say that if we, eliminate certain competitions that are from China, this would become the world's largest visual AI company. Now, before moving ahead, let us understand exactly what it does in brief, right? Then we'll speak about the history and the current situation of the company and its products and its usage. But it's important to understand what exactly visual AI means. So when we speak about visual AI, it means simply that whatever a human eye can see, right? It can be a picture, it can be a video, right? Uh, the AI basically interprets these images or videos and gives you statistical input on them. And just not gives you statistical input on them, it can also be trained to take, you know, pre-decided actions, again certain events or certain data that we learn from this AI. In other words, if your computer, your camera is seeing anything and you want to decipher it, you want to interpret it, and you want your system to take a responsive action against those data, Prisma AI has built a platform which enables these hardwares or these these interpretations, and then gives up gives a decisive action against the same. So to make again, to give you a different, when we speak about visual AI, when we speak about cameras, it this company is not exactly making AI enabled cameras. It is actually enhancing your existing camera and making it AI enabled, making it smart. So just as you can, to give an example, today when you have different laptops with you, right? IBM, Lenovo, etc. These are all a piece of hardware. What makes them smart is basically the background software that is working on it, the Windows that is there. So the common thing between all of these hardwares is Windows. Similarly, Prisma has built a platform which could be implemented in any and every camera, and whatever input output is coming out of the camera, this software sits on the feed server, analyzes these images or videos, and interprets it, and accordingly, as instructed, takes respective action against it. Now, these cameras could be anything, these images could be anything. It could be a normal HD image, it could be a 4K image, it could be a VGA image, it could be a X-ray image, it could be an infrared image, whatever we can see, right? The camera can be trained to interpret the same. So this is basically a brief about what visual AI is all about. Now, how is it different? How does it make someone's life easy? Because it is a platform and not camera dependent, right? Your entire network of cameras can get connected to your server and become AI enabled, smart, right? So you may have various cameras, you may have VGA cameras, you may have HD cameras, 4K cameras, you may have thousands of cameras in your premises or your network connected to a feed server. Their Windows, I mean, their platform can sit on that feed server and make everyone intelligent, and not just intelligent. They can speak to each other transmit data to each other in order to come to a conclusion on a particular action, right? So today, if you want to track someone going from one place to another, which is covered by the cameras, the camera can sit. So the benefit of this platform is, this is a platform, not a hardware, not a AI enabled hardware. So today, if you have a AI enabled hardware, maybe there would be 10 cameras who are intelligent, rest 90 not intelligent. They won't be able to speak to each other, right? Hence, your entire coverage of your institution is not covered. This is one of the largest benefit of it. Number one. Number two, typically when an AI sits on a hardware, what do we call AI? So let us understand. AI typically means that something, an artificial intelligence, which not just interprets, it takes actions, and at the same time, it is self-learning, right? So when we speak about AI-enabled camera, which is standing alone, they typically are not, equipped most of the times to self-learn. Whatever is pre-fitted into them, that is the action that they are able to do. So today, let's assume if I have a mouse, right, and the shape and design of the mouse changes, the hardwares which have old data and not self-learning will not be able to recognize a new design of the mouse. But when we speak about a platform which is making all the cameras intelligent, this platform continuously keeps on learning. There are different process of learning. They are learning from global libraries. They are, manual assisted learning. So there are different process of learning, but it keeps on upgrading itself and it does not become redundant, right? So that is the benefit of having a platform over a hardware. Now I'll come directly to Prisma. When we speak about Prisma, right? Uh, I just gave you a brief about, what is the core focus, what it does. Let me take you a little bit of the into the history of Prisma. So Prisma in 1981 was founded in Germany by the ex-IBM team, right? They yeah, during their period, so it was a German company. During their period, they have n numbers of multiple projects coming in. To name a few projects, there was a, if you remember, there was a Berlin Wall, and there were a lot of when the Berlin Wall was built, there were a lot of letters exchanged from one part of the wall to the other part of the wall. Families exchanged letter, which was taken by the police, torn, shredded, and kept in gunny bags. So there were more than 16,000 gunny bags, which was there were more than 16,000 gunny bags in which these letters were kept. Right now, late in the 2000s, when the wall was already broken, it was decided that because these are all historical importance, let us archive these letters. Now imagine taking out letters from gunny bags and matching it up. It's a very, very impossible task. And that is the time when it was Prisma Germany was approached and was asked, can you do something? And then they and then they designed a algorithm wherein all these letters was kept on conveyor belts, and cameras were put on top of the conveyor belts, and the cameras used to take picture and match the letters basis on the handwriting, the texture, the tone, parts. They used to match it like a jigsaw puzzle and archive these letters. And imagine a VGA camera taking these pictures and the algorithm doing this. So way back it was called business intelligence. Later on, and this later on, it is called AI. So they had appointed Patni computers. I'm sure a lot of us, or almost every one of us, knows Patni computers. Patni computers were appointed as an EDC, Extended Development Centers of Prisma, where Dr. Iyer, who was heading the global projects for Patni, he was in charge of creating all these algorithms for Prisma Germany, right? The entire this project carried on. They received n number of projects later on. One of the projects was by Interpol, where they were they were to find stolen artifacts. So Prisma's algorithm was installed on that time BlackBerry phones, and they used to click pictures of the artifacts which was being auctioned in secondary markets. And when you used to the pictures that were clicked, it used to send back to the server, and there was the matching used to happen using those algorithms, and a response used to come that this is 68% right, 70% correct, or 50% correct, and basis on those decisions, these police used to either stop the auction, take the material, and later on do their due diligence. So this is a brief about how Prisma progressed. Later on in 2010, this entire thing was brought under algorithm, was brought under a platform as we, a standard recognition, image recognition software, as we spoke about how platform works. And in 2012, these IBM guys, they grew old. They wanted to exit the company, wanted to sell the company, and that is when Dr. Iyer, who was heading this project, and Dr. Sriram Iyer, who created all these algorithm, thought that since this is my baby, why not I take over the company, I buy the company, and that is where he invested all that he had, including his ESOPs and everything, into this company, and bought out this company and merged it with Prisma Global Limited, which was an Indian company, and that is how Prisma migrated into India, right? Later on, from there, they had a very fantastic journey throughout. Now today they are globally present into India, US, Europe, Singapore, Malaysia, Southeast Asia, everywhere, whatever we speak of. And today, with all these partners and their clientele network, they are world's, I mean, it would be, I could comfortably say that my assumption is they would be world's third largest visual AI company. Now, if you see, as I said, they are operating from six different continents. They have more than 4,25,000 cameras, operating, and from multiple countries. These are some of their global users, including Adani, BMW, GVK, Air India, H&M, IKEA. I'll brief you about a little bit. These are their partners, where they have different bat ventures, Pitney Bowes. All these companies. Some of these companies are billion-dollar companies, more than billion-dollar companies, who are partners to Prisma. Now, uh, going forward, let me give you a few examples of uh, how this visual AI and where this visual AI company works. What is the procedure of this visual AI? Let me give you some examples. Then I'll again take you through the different products that Prisma has, so that you can easily correlate with the product. So, for example, today, if we speak about the use cases of Prisma, which will help you understand and differentiate between other AIs versus the visual AI created by Prisma. So, let's take an example of Singapore Airport, where Prisma is present, right? In Singapore Airport, Prisma is doing facial recognition, object recognition. How does it exactly work? So today, when you walk in Singapore Airport, it's a huge airport. We know, it's the world's categorized as the world's best airport, and there are more than 78,000 cameras, out of which I am, close to around 4,000 cameras are already implemented on Prisma, and others en route to be implemented. Now, what exactly is being done? So let's say today, if you are there in, for example, in Starbucks, right, having a sip of coffee, and you walk off and you forget your bag there. So there are two functions of Prisma operating on that particular airport. Number one, object. Number two, facial. So what it is capable of doing is, if that object is lying idle for half an hour, you can train your camera first to detect what is the object. It may be a harmful object or non-harmful object. So today, if it detects that it's a gun, immediately it would alert the nearby police and other security staff. But if it detects that this is a baggage and lying idle for, let's say, 30 minutes, it'll try to find out who was carrying the bag, depending on the facial recognition, try to find out where is this person right now, and immediately alert the security guy near that particular person to tell him to go and collect his bag from Starbucks. Or if he has left the building premises, immediately inform the security people, the bomb squad, the police, etc., to come and pay attention to this baggage as it is lying idle. Uh, Similarly, there was an incident at an airport kitchen, which is again one of very large kitchen, very large airport, where the worker union, they wanted to get the demands fulfilled. So what they did is they mixed the tray, fooding tray, with glass and nails and brought it to the management to show this is what we are capable of doing. Right now, how do we stop that? So Prisma was called in, and they provided a solution wherein all these staffs, they are given a standard operating process of what has to be done. Right, you have to take your hand, take this out, pour it in the tray, and the standard operating process. So what Prisma did was captured the entire standard operating process, and anything outside the process would raise an alert. So for example, if I'm not allowed to put my hand in the pocket under the table, and if I'm doing that, immediately an alert would be raised to the line manager. Right, similarly, let's say I'm supposed to keep that place, that fooding area, clean. I should not be coughing, or I should not be rubbing my hands somewhere, or rubbing something off my shoulders. That entire thing would be captured, and immediately alert would be raised. Right. Similarly, in European roadways, right, the highways stretching from Naples to Italy, the cameras are all equipped with AI, and not just European. Similar kind of thing has been implemented in Mumbai Mira Bhayandar also, wherein today if you are traveling, on that highway or road, and if you are violating something, let's say overspeeding, let's say you are not wearing your helmet, you are carrying a triple carry, or you have a three rider on a bike, you're traveling in the wrong lane, everything that the camera is trained for detection and violation would be captured, and immediately a responsive penalty, penalization mechanism of raising challan or bills or ticketing would be done through that entire system automatically. And not just this, today, if let's say the government, respective authority wants the camera also to detect various things. If a vehicle is stopped for a longer period, if it's causing traffic blockade, if there's something unidle, if the roads are damaged, sorry, if there is anything that is there and you want it to be detected and informed, if there's an accident happening, if there's a mob accumulation over there, mass accumulation, if there's a fight happening, the camera can be trained for that, and immediately alerts can be raised for actions at respective places. Many a times you have seem to happen that there's an accident and it's a vacant road, but a camera is there, but there's no one there to attend that accident, but the camera detects it and it immediately informs the hospital or the ambulance to come there and attend to this accident. Right, so this is what is being done. Again, in certain instances, the railways wanted the camera to detect the number of person on a platform, again identify if there's any kind of unattended object lying at the railways. There has been, we all know, there were incidences of stampede happening at many places. One was recent Kumbhs. So similar kind, to prevent such thing, one of the idea was to capture the number of people on the respective area, right, and not to allow excessive people entering that area. Such things has happened on platforms, railway station, bridges, stadiums, many places, right. So how does Prisma help? It keeps a head count of the number of people accumulated in a particular area or entering that area, and keeps the net count. So let's say there are 1,000 people who have entered and 300 have exited. So 700 people are currently in that particular area. It should not cross 800. The moment it crosses 800 net people, immediately it will inform the security not to let any further people into that area, right? Uh, Again, when we speak about stadiums, one of the use cases is where Prisma uses facial recognition as a ticket. So Jaipur Pink Panther had appointed Prisma to do the ticketing. So any when you are booking their tickets for this Jaipur Pink Panther, on Book My Show, along with your ticket, you had your facial recognition. All you had to do is just walk into your stadium, your face would be recognized, and you would be allowed entry. Correct. Um, so what this platform does, prima facie, now the bigger thing, Gryphos platform, so to called, the example that we gave of Windows. So Gryphos is the platform, and what this platform does along with it other additions is what it makes your camera capable of doing is it captures your facial recognition. You can do facial recognition, object, gesture, posture, sentiments, right? All these things can be done through this platform, and all your cameras could be enabled. Definitely you know, there are certain conditions. If your face is not visible on the camera, it's very dark, it's not a night vision camera. So what could be seen by us, similarly, if it could be seen by the camera, it could be interpreted. Now, as I said, Gryphos is the platform. Gryphos is that Windows for camera, so to say. Correct. Now, how it does is, it's a very simple architecture. You have your camera. It is connected to the server. The core platform, which is the Gryphos platform, it is attached with the server, not on the camera but on the server, right? And then the output, whatever data is coming in, it is being connected where you have unsupervised and supervised learning. So as I said, in AI, the most important part is continuous learning of the algorithm to detect if any changes have taken place. And then the output that we get is either a decision notification is being sent. So they have different kinds of, they can send notifications in different method. You want it on WhatsApp, you want it on email, SMS, you want it, they have a platform, they can give you a dashboard, etc. So a decision making, an output is given, and there are different APIs that get access to it in order to keep the algorithm running, right? Now, when we speak about what all can be done from the camera during this course of examples, I will keep on giving you few examples where we have, where we have implemented Prisma and what we have done. So just one, I'll come across, through the different products, and I'll give you examples also. But it could be used for safety, as you see, whether a person is wearing a helmet or a jacket or not. It could be used for facial recognition. So whatever access control, or today if you are authorizing a transaction, your face can be utilized as your authentication medium. So access control in I gave an example of the highways where you can have, speed tracking and violation tracking. You can also do object counting, so if if you want, like, I want to count how many trucks are going by, how many cars are going by. So it can detect the objects if there's a pedestrian, a bike, a car, a truck going across. It has, as I said, today, if there's a riot, so not just from commercial angle, as I said, it has a social cause also. So today, it can detect if it's a person, if the person is in distress. So let's say, for example, today I'm accessing a ATM, and in the ATM there's someone who has held me at gunpoint. I might be distressed, I might be crying. When the camera picks up that image of me crying, at that point of time, immediately it would raise a concern that there might be a problem in that ATM, and it immediately puts a notification to the relevant department or wherever the bank has you know uh, advised them to send the notification. Similarly, object. So today you want, if you're walking in a crowded place, you want to identify if it's a suitcase, a trolley, or rather a unwanted object, someone having a knife or something like that, weapon. Those all things could be tracked. Again, inventory management, whether you want to track, what kind of inventory you have, how many, to give you an example, there were a lot of superstores across the world who are very keen and particular on inventory management, because they keep on monitoring that if my shelves are empty, that means I am losing sales, right? So someone walks by a particular shelf, they want to buy something and that's empty. So they want a continuous tracking of that shelf, whether sufficient material is there or not. And accordingly, the camera takes a decision to inform the stores to fill that shelf up, right? Again, exam hall monitoring. So today, when we speak about gesture postures, someone sitting in an exam monitored by a camera or giving an online exam. And let me tell you, all these use cases have already been deployed in various clients somewhere or the other. So when we speak about exam hall monitoring, if I'm cheating, if I'm seeing here and there, all those things can be uh, detected. Now, coming down to Gryphos, the different products that is on the platform. So today, when you take the Gryphos platform, now there would be different APIs. So today, if I want the Gryphos platform to only do facial recognition, we can, it's more of a plug and play model. So I have a platform, I have 10 different functionings. I want one function, I can attach one function API and get my platform running. I want 10 actionables, I can attach 10 different actionables and get my platform running. So Gryphos is the main platform, which is, it enables every whatever we add to it. We add facial, objects, gesture, posture. Then we have Gryphas. So Gryphas is basically a financial authentication system. Let me take a minute for to explain GRIFAS. So today, if you see last year, India lost around 30,000 crore rupees to fraudulent activities, right? We all know the scams that are happening. And it's not just in India, it's across the world. Uh, so GRIFAS is one such product that would help eliminate those kinds of frauds. How does it do that? So today, when we know there are a lot of spam links floating, and if by chance we click on those links, either my phone gets cloned, or I have it's somehow or the other, they are all subjective to a huge breach in the security. Now, by implementing GRIFAS, which is already we are in talks with multiple banks, even one bank has started utilizing it, so on a test basis. So when we install GRIFAS, what it does is today when I'm doing a transaction either through my desktop or my mobile, I get an OTP. I punch in the OTP. Immediately GRIFAS will identify my face. So my platform, my software is sitting on the server. It already has the KYC data. I enter my OTP, it sees me as Yogesh, identifies my facial recognition, then it asks me to, smile or blink in order to see whether I'm alive or not, which helps me avoid spoofing because I can easily show a picture or a video also on the camera. Then it asks me to do gesture posture, which helps me eliminate deep fake, and then it lets the transaction through if it is Yogesh. But let's say Yogesh has given this right to someone else. Let's say a friend. The friend is doing the same thing. Again, the camera would do the same actionables. It would match and say, "This is not Yogesh." It would send a notification to Yogesh, "This person is accessing your account." Yogesh would see it, "This is my friend." He will authorize it. But when he authorizes it, it might happen that my phone is with someone else. So again, it will ask me to do the same actionables. If it is Yogesh, it would let the transaction through. If it is not Yogesh, it would decline the transaction and immediately alert the banks, capture the ID, facial recognition, and send it to the banks. Right? This is what GRIFAS is. Now, when we speak about financial authentication, it does not just limit here. Tomorrow, if we are there at, let's say, if I am a bank manager, I'm supposed to authorize a transaction or a loan. Someone else may come to my computer, he may be knowing the password, he may do the same thing. So we can prevent that also. Someone trying to enter into a server room which has crucial data, we can utilize it. So anywhere where we have authentication, where we want to prove the authentication of that individual, we can use GRIFAS. Now, GRISCAN. Now, when I initially spoke, this could be implemented on any kind of images or visuals. Meaning, today, even if it's an X-ray image. So, there are a couple of airports that are using GRISCAN, wherein if a passenger's uh, luggage is scanned, the X-ray image that comes out, the algorithm of Prisma works on those X-ray images to identify wanted and unwanted objects, right? And once it is identified, it can be tagged. Earlier, what used to happen, they used to put a cross from a chalk, and the passengers could easily identify that my baggage has been identified, right? They used to go to the bathroom and rub it off. So now with GRISCAN, it is automatically tagging. They can do a RF tagging, and accordingly a lot of actionables, which because it is of a security concern, would not like to discuss here. But those entire process becomes more automated, right, and more accurate. Then we have Greiwitz. Again, Greiwitz uh, is something which is for traffic management. As I have earlier explained to you, the highway concept, the Mira Binder concept. So today in traffic, you can easily detect a lot of things, do the count of the traffic on a signal, how many cars are there, what is the extent of the road blockage or traffic or jam that has taken place. You can count the number, you can detect the number plate, you can detect the number on the number plate, you can detect violations, you can detect the type of vehicle, anything that you want to do. So Greiwitz is somewhere where you can utilize it for traffic management. If you can see, here a couple of examples have been given. If you see wherein a person using a phone or not wearing a helmet, or someone ignored a particular red light, you have the number plates being recognized. One very interesting fact, let me share with you. So today, when we speak about traffic violations, typically what you have to do that is the ANPR camera, automatic number plate recognition camera. You see those cameras in traffic, right? ANPR camera, what it does, it when there is a violation, it captures your number plate, right, and it sends some message across to the person sitting at the back end in the traffic control room, and it gets and that person then uses that authentication system. So first, you need to have a specialized camera. But with Gryphos and Gryvits, what is there is you don't need to have a specialized camera. Whatever camera is there, if the number plate is coming there, automatically it would learn the number, it would detect the number, and it would automatically raise a challan, or it is integrated with the challan system, and it would automatically send a notification to that system to raise a challan against that violation, right? And you have the entire recording in place, not just a picture. So this is how it is revolutionizing. So many tier 2, tier 3 cities may not have specialized cameras installed, but they may have normal cameras over there. That is where Prisma can be of use. Again, Grisec, as I said, the facial recognition to let someone into the system. Then we have Verify. So Verify is something which would become a universal data bank for your KYC. So today, uh, down the line, it would only be your facial recognition would solve the purpose of your entire KYC. So in Verify, you'll have giving you'll have to upload your Aadhaar numbers, etc. But then your face will be linked to it, and all you need to do is show your face and walk through and get your KYC done, right? These are being used by multiple airports today. I mean, in some airports you'll find, so they are there at Dubai, Singapore, they are there at Berlin airport, right? So many places where you have to do immigration, all you need to do is show your face and walk through, right? So this is what Verify is about. One second. Let me quickly reshare this. All right, just allow me one more minute to reshare. Yeah. So you have verified. So this is the different products that Prisma has, where all it can be implemented at airport customs. As I said, Scan is one thing where you can have airport custom solutions. And at airport, speaking about, I gave you an example of Singapore airport. Similarly, you can have different use cases in Indian airports. In Adani airports, if you Google, there's a service called Desk of Goodness. So a humanitarian touch and ground to of where it can be used. So today, if you're walking, let's say today at the different Adani airports. So 9 out of 13 Adani airports is in line. Already one or two have started it, and another are in line to implement it, which is called Desk of Goodness. So what happens is today, if I'm a old age guy, or I'm a person with a disability, or a pregnant woman, right, who needs help, right, who would come to help? The cameras would, right? The camera would detect that this person needs help, immediately inform the Pranam services, send the photo to their tabs, and someone would reach this person to help this guy out. So similar thing could happen at multiple places. In hospitals, imagine an old guy standing in a queue to pay the bill. Someone in a hospital can come and assist that guy, right? At schools, maybe, if a child has fallen down, there's no one to help him. Alert can be raised immediately. So utility where you can have, these kind of utilities in order to help people on a humanitarian ground. Then we have uh, Gryphos in terms of customer assistance solutions. As I said just now, I explained how on humanitarian facial recognitions, as I explained, it can be used on the banking transactions, ATM transactions, multiple places to access your laptops, computers, server rooms, highways. You can, it can also be used to analyze a particular stretch or an entire highway as to where is the maximum accidents happening, what is the cause of the accident, because everything, if it is captured on the camera, you can run an analytics on it, and you can train the camera to capture such incidences for future. Defect detection. So interesting topic. there was once a cookie manufacturer who wanted to detect the number of chocolate chips on the cookie. So the camera was placed, it counted, and it, if there's any kind of shortages on the chips, it used to inform. So defect detect again in a lineup. If you're producing, let's say for example, a bag, and there's a scratch on the bag or a dent on the bag, it immediately captures on the line. And there are some use cases where a tower manufacturer who exports the entire tower, the mobile towers, all the angles and everything, right? They wanted to analyze that the screw holes has to be of the perfect diameter and at the right spot, because if it's not aligned, the entire tower cannot be built. And if it's exported, again, if there's a defect, it has to come back to India. So they install the cameras to analyze whether it's at the right place. Earlier someone manually used to count it, manually used to measure it. So event, as I explained about Jaipur ping factor, your facial recognition used as event, logistic, capturing how many, what is the size of the object, where is it going, which line it has to be, the manual container tracking. Again, hospitality. So in hospitality, uh, I remember there was one hotel who proposed, and I think so they are wanting this to be done. Already a lot of work where they wanted the client not to go through the check-in process. Their facial recognition would complete the entire journey and allocation of room through facial recognition. So yeah, a lot of use cases. Then um, let me introduce you to the team. Dr. Sriram Iyer, I gave you a background to give you. He's a technocrat. I mean, he's the person behind the entire show, along with Amitabh Roy Chaudhary. Dr. Sriram Iyer has, he's a BE in mechanical engineer and Master of Management from the University of Mumbai. He has done his PhD from the EU University. He was earlier he had been working, uh, he had worked in Patni. He was amongst the junior scientists in the Nehru Planetarium. Today, if you go there, you'll find his name inscribed on it, a complete technocrat. Then we have Amitabh Roy Chaudhary, who is the group CEO and co-founder. Amitabh, again, he has worked for multiple roles into IT, again a technocrat. He has worked across Europe, Southeast Asia. He was there with Oracle, iFlex Solutions, Tata Consultancy, and these two are running the show from front. Then we have Hari, who is the group CFO. Hari has more than 25 years of experience into valuations, merger and acquisitions, IPO readiness, the transaction. He was also the executive director and regional leader for ENY. So he had been working with all the big four. He has been working with the big fours. So he's the group CFO and the CIO. And then we have Mr. Jasprit Singh Walia. He is the chief marketing officer, and again carrying his own long legacy and over 22 decades of experience into technology, into financial services, hospitality, as a marketing head. We have Naresh Taneja. So Naresh ji is the Executive Vice President HR in admin. He was earlier a wing commander also. So very highly professional and disciplined. We can understand, type of professionalism and discipline being carried out in Prisma as a company. Santosh Chavan, who is India sales head. We have Aditya, who is the CISO and the director operations. We have Binal, who's currently working in graphology. Again, a new product coming in Prisma based on the handwriting experts. Then we have Andrew, who is the European business and implementation head. So this is a bit of background, multiple awards. I mean, I'm sure this presentation would be there with you. You can get the details. And yeah, I think so. This is what Prisma is all about. There are n number of cases it would take hours to discuss, but I'm sure speaking one to one with everyone to explain all this would make more sense on a practical level. So thank you so much. I hope we were able to give clarity on Prisma. We'll keep meeting on these topics again and again. Thank you. Thank you.